my screen or?
Yes, you are presenting.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And first of all, I want to start with this situation that I point the last time that I was at the first invitation of the show, and because for me this is the kind of thing that maybe you must think in this way. If the space is real and the satellites are real, why they all the time fake things about, putting satellites on orbit? Of course, maybe SpaceX or NASA or the Russians agency or the Chinese agency all have their own, protocols to show how launch a satellite. But for example, the European agency of ESA with the Ariane rockets, which is a French company, they this is is from the official webpage, official Ariane agency, and this is what publicated on 29th of September, and they start with the the complete show of the rocket launch and things like that. But the nice things become when they need to show something real from the space, not from the ground, because from the ground, of course, it's just a long-range cameras, nothing more than that. But when they need to show something about the space, they, for example, this company from the last 8 years, I believe, or maybe more, they show the same images. So for me, that it's like a click in my head, because I start thinking why they need to show the same images all the time if they are really in space or they are really go to space. And the fact is, the Ariane company, they put a lot of satellites up there. Those satellites that the people believe is in charge of telecommunication or of satellite television or internet, all that kind of thing. So if, for example, this company has trouble to really show the satellite in orbit, what happened with the old satellite that this company put in the last 8 years, for example. So here you can see from the ground, for example, the telemetry says that supposedly this little dot is 100 kilometers from the ground, and they start to show this kind of animation that they get a little better, because a few years ago they don't show the sun in the horizon, so they have like something more realistic, and then they jump to these images. Right now, the fact is, anytime, for example, I'm going to show another launch of Ariane, this is from the 226 model, and this was, if I don't mistake, the 239. So there are two complete different rockets, right? And when they go to the, for example, this is a satellite of my country. This satellite was put or paid for my country. And here in Argentina, at the time of this satellite was put in orbit, was called the sovereign freedom of telecommunication, and all the country go crazy. The politicians are selling all kind of that.
Oh yeah.
That is why they put in your head. They create all these magnificent business show, so the people get inside of the head based on this kind of word like sovereign telecommunications country, and you pay to other countries. It's not even your own country who put on the orbit. But here you can see the same image. It's the same image.
Oh my God, it is.
It is exactly the same animation. Okay, they only, for example, they change a little bit of something like saturation or contrast or hue, but it's the same image, it's the same movement of the capsule, it's the same ray lights of the sun, all the same. Not just in this part. They even, of course, they jump to CGI computer animations, showing all the rest of the launch. But when I believe is here. For example, here they show this kind of other animations, and this is also are the same all the time. So why they have this kind of need to let me just I go into directly, because I just want to everybody understand the history behind this, but I have here the comparisons, and you can check it by yourself. All these missions use the same kind of computer animation, and of course the supposedly real image. You can see the different altitude, you can see the different distances, the different speeds, different times, and they presented like real image, like this is happening in this kind of launch, individual launches. So for me that is like a red flag, because I don't think the necessity to show the same images, the same footage stock if the launches is real.
Right.
Why they do this?
Right.
They can show independent footage.
Right.
We are talking about 10 years showing the same images.
Yeah. What's interesting about that, Aru, is when I first started getting into this, and I was a big follower of Clues Forum. Clues Forum was doing very deep analysis of the shuttle takeoffs, right? And they showed them over the years, over a span of well over a decade, all the shuttle takeoffs, and it was absolutely phenomenal. All the close-ups that they shot, of the liftoff, they had the exact same little pieces of stuff flying everywhere. I mean, they were virtually identical. Takeoff scenes, right? Virtually identical scenes as far as, the view from the cameras looking across at the launch pad. And then they did the close-ups and how they would take off. And, of course, when they do this, then they would oftentimes screw up in that they would show the shuttle then considerably higher up. But, certain decals would be changed on the two different footages from takeoff to while it was actually in flight. So, I mean, this is something that the Clues Forum really covered well, and it absolutely shows the absolute fakery of it. These are purported to be real launches, real footage, real time, and they are absolutely 100% one and the same animations spanning across a decade. And this is exactly what's going on here with these.